Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire with What You Need and Why, and I am at Quest Diagnostics before the sun even has come up with phlebotomist Andrea here, and she has just taken my annual blood work. Thank you. I know you have work to do. Well, I just want to thank you so much. I just want to tell you how important it is for you to take your annual blood work because in the advent of COVID, there are underlying conditions that you may not be aware of. This is so vitally important. Your blood work is going to give you a marker. You should actually take your blood work twice a year. Your insurance will pay for it twice a year. Most insurances will, if you have insurance. But these days, this is worth the save. It would probably cost you out of pocket around $125. So what you need to know and why today is you need to know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. It is important that you know that. With all of the people who are dying, Andrea was just telling me about a cousin 30 years old who died, an uncle 54 who died, and they were absolutely positively healthy. Let me say something to you. There is possibly something underlying, something that could not be seen, but something that was going on metabolically that caused COVID to sink in, set in, and take over. All right, we know that people who are most at risk, those who are seemingly healthy, are the ones who are contracting COVID, and those are the ones who are dying from it. I want to do a study on the people who have died from it, who were seemingly healthy, who had low vitamin D. That's the study that I really want to have done. True story. I myself was on protest from the whole medical community. I'm feeling fine. I feel great. And I did not have any doctor visits or blood work for 5 years. I'm outing myself. Yes. My insurance agent called me and said when it was time to re-up my insurance, he said, Joyce, we have a problem. So what's the problem? He said, you haven't been to the doctor. I was like, no, I've been great. He said, no. You haven't been to the doctor. Please tell me that you have at least been to the doctor one time, at least in the emergency room. I said, yes, I sprained my ankle. So they went and dug up the sprained ankle records from the emergency room. And guess what? He came back and said to me, okay, you were right. You're in good health. Your blood pressure was so low when you were in crisis that you are going to get an annual discount on your premiums. They're going to even lower your premiums even more because for your age, you have the blood pressure of a teenager. And I was like, oh, thank God. He said, but Joyce, go to the doctor, you know better. He was right. But COVID was a real wake-up call for me to get at some things that I knew specifically that are underlying for me. And one of them is to finally kick those last few pounds out the door because I don't want to be overweight and to continue to carry around the overweight from year to year to year and let that be an underlying condition. I don't. So I've been working extra hard at that. You can too. Just put your mind to it, put your feet on the ground and start walking. And that can cancel the underlying conditions. You must know your numbers. I cannot stress that enough. Also today, I got a Lyme disease test. Excuse me, I want to cough. I got a Lyme disease test because I live in the woods, I have a dog, and I've had Lyme disease before. When I moved to the woods, I first contracted it. I'm going to tell you that everyone in the Northeast should be taking an annual Lyme disease test. And my doctor said, oh, why do you want a Lyme disease test? And I said, because I live in the woods, I have a dog. And he looked at me and I said, and I'm tired. So you have to be symptomatic for something in order to get the Lyme disease test. But that, again, for me, that's like closing the barn when the horse is out. So I'm up today, crack of dawn, in Quest Diagnostics already so that I can know my numbers. And I want you to as well. Ask for a Lyme disease test. Ask for a vitamin D test. We know now that vitamin D in African Americans is lower than most people. And so we have to have even more vitamin D in order for our bodies to be healthy. The lady just told me, who took my blood, that they spin it in a spinner and pour off the serum to test your vitamin D. I thought that was so exciting. I'm a science rat. I really want to watch her do that, but she won't let me. But I am so, I saw the empty vial because she filled up the 5 vials of blood, because I got a full panel of blood workup. And the empty one, she said, oh, that's for your vitamin D serum. And I made her explain. Never be afraid to ask questions. What's that for? Why is that one empty? Why does this one have the red stuff in the bottom? Why does this one have the white stuff in the bottom? What is that? And they will be delighted to share the information with you. Don't be uneducated about your health. This is on you. Your health on you. All right. And as someone said, coronavirus, actually Apostle Lady-elect Darlene Turner said, coronavirus is, in the words corona and virus, are on us. Ooh, I just think that is amazing. It is so true. Do everything to prevent. We also want to know what our red blood cell counts are, our white blood cell counts, and our C-reactive protein numbers. Your C-reactive protein is very important to find out what the markers are for inflammation in your body. Your C-reactive protein should be less than 1. If your C-reactive protein is more than 1, you need to get with me and let me help you get your inflammation numbers down. And so my daughter drove me here this morning because she's a young driver and she's getting practice, and my blood pressure, I'm sure, was up. Stop here, down there, don't you see the red light? And so that also inflames the body. So we'll see what my cortisol levels were when the blood work comes back. That was probably the wrong decision to let her drive me, but it's okay. And I'm praying that all will be well. But you can't even get those prayers going unless you know what your numbers are, because you don't know what to pray for. Not only that, you don't know what action to take. If your cholesterol is slightly elevated, then you know that you need to stop eating cholesterol-laced foods and up your exercise and uptake your fiber. You know that you need to do that. If your vitamin C is low, you need to up some more vitamin C. The same with your calcium. If your vitamin D is low, you need to get some more vitamin D. You know, this is what I want to say about vitamin D. These fluorescent lights that I'm sitting under right now, we are all sitting under fluorescent lights in public places because they're unavoidable. They're commercial lights. So whoever got the bright idea to make fluorescent lights for our home, that was a mistake. And when they did that, there was a tremendous uptick in vitamin D low cases amongst Black Americans and all Americans sitting under fluorescent lighting and LED lighting because it leaches our vitamin D. So I don't care if you sit under fluorescent lights at work, don't sit under them at home. Get rid of those lights. Put them on the outside of your home. Put them in your garage. Put them in places that you are not allowed. But don't sit under fluorescent lights continually in your homes. They cause a problem with your vitamin D, make your levels low. That's what you need to know today and why. Take heed. God bless you.